Welcome back to English Nailed It. I'm your host. Hello, everyone.
And I'm your co-host. Hello, hello. Today we're talking about a word that confuses almost every English learner. A day of the week. You know how to say it, but when you try to spell it, your brain stops.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Is it Wednesday? Wednesday? Where does that silent D come from? Today we're asking the question, why is Wednesday spelled that way?
Before we travel back in time, a quick friendly request. If you love learning about the strange secrets of English spelling, please subscribe to English Nailed It and give this episode a like. Thank you.
Let's start with the obvious. The spelling of Wednesday does not match its pronunciation. Most people say Wednesday. The D is silent, the first E is silent. It's a mess.
But there is a reason, a very old reason. To understand, we need to go back over 1,000 years, before English was English.
The days of the week in English come from two main sources. Some come from Roman gods, some come from Germanic and Norse gods. Wednesday comes from the Norse. In Norse mythology, there was a god named Odin. He was the king of the gods. He was the god of wisdom, war, poetry, and death. He was very powerful and very important. In Old English, the language spoken in England over 1,000 years ago, Odin was called Woden. The day of the week dedicated to Woden was called Wodennesdag. That means Woden's Day.
Let's say that together. Wodennesdag. Can you hear it? Wodennesday. That's where our spelling comes from. It was originally pronounced with all the letters. Over hundreds of years, pronunciation changed. People spoke faster. They dropped sounds. Wodennesdag became Wodennesday, then Wednesday. The first D became silent. The second D, that's another story. Wait, there are two Ds? Yes, look at the spelling. Wednesday. There's a D after the E and another D at the end of ness, two silent Ds.
The second D comes from the Old English ending deg, which meant day. Over time, deg became day, but the D stayed in the spelling. So Wednesday has two silent Ds from two different sources.
So Wednesday is spelled the way it was pronounced over 1,000 years ago. The pronunciation changed, but the spelling didn't. English spelling is like a museum. It keeps old sounds even when we don't say them anymore.
Let's compare with other days. Thursday comes from Thor's Day. Thor was the Norse god of thunder. In Old English, it was Thunresteg. That became Thursday. The pronunciation changed, but the spelling is closer to the original. Tuesday comes from Thieves' Day. Tive was a Norse god of war. In Old English, it was Tivesteg. That became Tuesday. The W is silent now, but it was pronounced long ago. So the pattern is clear. The days named after Norse gods kept their old spellings. We just stopped saying the sounds. But wait, there's more. In other languages, the day for Odin is spelled more logically. In German, Wednesday is Mittwoch, which means midweek, no Odin at all. In French, it's Mercredi, named after the Roman god Mercury. English chose to keep the Norse names, and then English chose to keep the old spellings. That's why Wednesday is so difficult. Let's look at some tips for remembering how to spell Wednesday. Tip 1. Say it the old way in your head. Wednesday. Break it into 3 parts. Wed, Ness, Day. The Ness is the middle part. Remember the NES like the video game system. Tip 2. Make a sentence. We eat donuts never-ending Saturday. That doesn't work. Try, when elephants dance, nobody ever says dangerous, amazing yawns. No, simpler. Wedding night ends Saturday. Still not great. Here's a good one. We do not eat sandwiches on Wednesday afternoons, yawn. Too long. Let's stick with Wednesday. Say it like that in your head every time you spell it. Tip 3, write it out 10 times. Wednesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. Your hand needs to learn the pattern. Muscle memory is powerful. Tip 4, notice the word ness inside. Wed plus ness plus day. If you can remember wed and day, you just need the middle ness. What does ness stand for? Nothing. Just remember it's there.
Let's look at some fun facts about Wednesday. In many cultures, Wednesday is considered the middle of the week. In the US and UK, the week is often seen as starting on Sunday or Monday. Wednesday is the middle either way.
In the nursery rhyme Monday's Child, Wednesday's child is described as full of woe. That means sad or worried. Poor Wednesday.
In some countries, Wednesday is a half day. Schools and offices close early. In other countries, it's just a normal day.
There's also a famous cartoon frog named Wednesday from the children's show The Adventures of Tintin, and of course, Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family. She was named after the day because the famous line says, "Wednesday's child is full of woe."
So let's review. Why is Wednesday spelled that way? It comes from Wodenesteg in Old English, meaning Woden's Day. Woden is the Norse god Odin. The spelling froze over 1,000 years ago. Pronunciation changed, but the spelling didn't. We say Wednesday, but write Wednesday because of history.
Isn't language fascinating? A silent D can tell you a story about Viking gods in Old English. Every weird spelling has a history. It's not random, it's just old. Your mission this week is to spell Wednesday correctly every time. Use the Wednesday trick. Write it down, say it in your head. You can master this word. In the comments, tell us what English word do you find most difficult to spell, or share a trick you use to remember a tricky spelling. We hope you enjoyed this journey into English history. If you did, please subscribe to English Nailed It and give this episode a like. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And remember, every weird spelling has a story. Keep asking why. Both, until next time, keep nailing it. Goodbye.